Hello, welcome back. This is your Professor Sudha. You have already learned the equation of the parabola, ellipse and hyperbola in three different sections. But if you get an equation, how do you identify whether this is a parabola, ellipse or hyperbola? Let's learn a technique to identify the equation of a conic section. Both x and y term will be squared in a standard form of the equation of an ellipse. And here a is always bigger than b. Look at the difference between these two equations. Here a is below x, here a is below y. If a is below x, then the major axis will be the x-axis. And if a is below y, you can see the major axis is the y-axis. And the foci will be on the major axis. If it is on the x-axis, the y-coordinate will be 0 and the foci will be at negative c or positive c. If it is on the y-axis, the x-coordinate will be 0 and the corresponding y-coordinate will be negative c or c. And c square is a square minus b square. And if a and b are same, then it will be a circle. In the standard equation of hyperbola, both x and y are squared, but they are in the opposite sign. But there is no such condition a greater than b in the hyperbola. Here a or b can be bigger. You can see the first term is starting with the positive term, and if the first term is starting with x square, then the transverse axis lies on the x-axis. If the first term is starting with y square, that's a positive term starting with y square, then the transverse axis is on the y-axis. Here in the ellipse, we call this as major axis and minor axis. In hyperbola, we call this as transverse axis, conjugate axis. So transverse axis, conjugate axis. And the relation between ABC is c square equal a square plus b square, where c is the distance from the center to the foci. And here in ellipse, that is a square minus b square. In a parabola, only one of the variable will have square. If the equation of the parabola starting with y square equal, then the parabola can be open right or left. If p is positive, it will be open right. If p is negative, it will be a parabola open to the left. If it is starting with x square, then it will be a parabola open up or down. If p is positive, it is open upward. If it is negative, it is open downward. Now let's learn a technique or procedure to identify the equation of conic sections. So there are three equations given here. We need to identify whether this is an ellipse, parabola or hyperbola. So first we will check how many variables with the square terms are there. So first equation, both x and y are squared. Second equation also, both x and y are squared. So the first question is, two variables are squared or not? So our answer is yes. So we will go here and check. Same sign for the square term or not? So this one has same sign, this one has opposite sign. If it has opposite sign, it will be a hyperbola. If it has same sign, then we need to check whether the coefficients are equal or not. Coefficients means that is the number in front of the variable x and y. So those variables are 1 over a square and 1 over b square. Here they are not the same. A is bigger than b. That means so the coefficients are not equal. So that is an ellipse. If they are same, then that will be a circle. For example, if you have an equation like this, this is an equation of a circle because both x and y are squared and the coefficient of x and y are 1. Now look at this one. Only one variable is squared. So is two variables squared? No, right? So only one variable is squared. So yes, so that is a parabola. If both the variables are not squared, that means degree of x and y are both 1, then it will be a line. For example, y equal mx plus b form, like 2x plus 5 or something like that. That's the equation of a line. I know now you will be an expert to identify the equation of conic section. So let's try these two. So first two equations, both the x and y are squared and both the signs are same. Both are joined with the plus sign. So that will be an ellipse. What is your guess for the next one? Yeah, you are right. Both x and y are squared, but they are joined with the minus sign, or the square terms are opposite sign. Here x is positive, y is negative. Here y is positive, x is negative. These two are equations of hyperbola. How about the next one? Here only one of the variable is squared. That means that is a parabola. Now I want you to pause the video and identify the conic section corresponding to these equations. Are you ready? Let's check. First one, both x and y are square terms and both are positive. The coefficient of x squared and y squared both are positive, so that is an ellipse. Second one is also an ellipse because both the square term has positive coefficients. Next two question, both x and y both are squared but the coefficients are opposites. So they are hyperbola. This equation has only one square term, that is x square, and this will be 4y, right? So this is a parabola. Next question looks a little bit complicated, but we can still apply the same technique we just learned to answer the question. First, identify how many variables has square in it. So if you look at this, this is one square term, this is a square term, this is a square term. But this one actually I can combine and I can write 65x square. So that is actually only one term. So 65x square. So x square term is there. Then 4y square. So there are two variables which have square in it. And the coefficients of x square and y square both are positive. So that will be a ellipse. Next question also similar to this. You can see that there are two square terms and both the variables are positive. So that will be an ellipse too. How about the last one? It has two square terms, but the numbers 4 and negative 36, right? They are opposite sign. Yeah, you guessed right. They are hyperbola. Now you learn how to identify the equation of ellipse, hyperbola and parabola at a glance. If you want to know about each conic section in detail, please check the corresponding section. Thank you for watching the video.